How do you feel about luxury skincare products? Have you ever tried them? If so, do you feel that they are worth it? Could you see and feel a difference in your skin? Or were you greatly disappointed and felt that it was a waste of money and just a bunch of hype? This is one of the subjects I'm going to discuss in this video, as well as my experience with Lancôme skincare, which actually began in my early 20s, and then I didn't use it for a very long time. We're talking about 35 years, somewhere in that trek, and the difference in the way my skin felt. I'm Cynthia Greer, so if you like what I do, if you find the information I'm bringing you helpful, please press the like, subscribe, share, and notification buttons, as I am not partnered with Lancôme. I purchased all of these products out of my own pocket. My channel is not sponsored, and the information that I bring to you in print is completely promoted by myself. So my algorithms on this channel really do help. And it does tell me whether or not I am getting through to the public. So comments are very helpful. Whether you like the products I am demoing or not, I am interested in your personal experience. Okay, so Lancôme is 90 years old. It is a French product, and it has a lot of scientific research to back it up, and they are always improving their formulas. So my first experience with it was a very long time ago, in my early 20s, and that was back in the 1980s. And I loved the product. I absolutely loved it. And there were no serums that I knew of that I was using. I used just the basic cleanser, toner, and moisturizer. I did 3 steps. And I had a day cream and a night cream, because my mother had stressed to me to get started on good skincare early, and that it was very important that I had something that would firm the skin. And of course, at that age, I never knew what life was going to send my way, and I ended up facially disfigured after surgery to save my life from a horrific bone disease brought on by radiation therapy. And not only did it affect the bone and disfigure my face, but it changed my skin as well. So needless to say, when I got into my 40s, my skin was a lot different from the way it was in my 20s, because I had experienced more life. And then again, in my 60s, after becoming facially disfigured and dealing with everything that goes with that. So I bought quite a few products this past fall, in the fall of 2025, so that I could give them a fair try and bring the information to my viewers. And I felt that it would be great to start with Lancôme because I had a real affinity for it in my youth. And I was very curious to see how the line had changed and how it would react on my skin. So the first product I began with was a sample of the Lait Galette Comfort, which is a creamy cleanser that is water soluble. And I felt wonderful from the very first time I used it. My skin did not have the after effect of feeling like it had been stripped of its natural oils. And even without moisturizer, it felt absolutely fantastic. So, being a woman who, I'm not flaky dry, but I am mature skinned, and I'm constantly going from, in the wintertime, a heated apartment out into a drafty apartment building, which is always kept at around 70 degrees no matter where you go. And I know that this has great effect on the skin when you're going from extreme temperatures. But my skin has not suffered since I have been using these products. So all the way around, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the cleanser. Would I buy it again? Absolutely, hands down. Now, the price for the Galette is going to run you $34 for 6.7 ounces. And I believe there is a larger size, but this is the sample here. So the 6.7 is a lot more product, and a little bit goes a long way. You don't need a lot of this even taking off your makeup, because what I have found is all of Lancôme products are very emollient. Now, my second step that I'm a diehard for, that a lot of women skip, is toning. I have always believed in toner, even if I was on drugstore products and I was using witch hazel after Pond's cold cream. I always toned because I can tell the difference that it does prime the skin for the next step, and it does help the moisturizer to move more freely into the skin. Now, I'm not an esthetician. I am not a cosmetologist. This is just my personal opinion. But I did grow up in a hair salon around a lot of skincare, and I do have a good idea of what works and what doesn't, and I did start young. And a lot of people, I will tell you, have complained about the Tonique Comfort. They don't like the fact that Lancôme changed the formula because it seems tacky and it seems oily. Now, I remember the original formula, and it was a lot more fluid, and you put it on with a cotton ball, and you went through it very quickly. That was usually my biggest purchase when I went to the mall. I always bought 2 bottles because I'd go through it so quickly. I love the new formula because you use a lot less of it. And the only reason my bottle has gone halfway down, I don't know if you can see it, but I can from where I'm at, is that I have been pretty wasteful with it the last 2 months because I have not judged how much I poured out. So when I only do 1 shot, a small drop, it covers my neck and my face. Otherwise, I find myself rubbing it in not to waste it, and it's too much. So I do like it. The sensation I feel is a lifting in my skin, and I definitely feel the properties that Lancôme sources work very well. And I've noticed that in combination with my cream and then my foundation in the morning, it is an excellent product to prime the skin. And I do use it both morning and evening. So for the toner, for 6.7 ounces, it's going to run $42. And you can get a larger size, but I don't believe that that is necessary. Now, the fun part. The Genifique Ultimate. Oh man, this serum is one of my favorite Lancôme products. And speaking as a facially disfigured woman, I truly have noticed a difference using this serum. Absolutely, I would buy it again. I think it is phenomenal. Now, I've taken some notes. If you want to go more into detail about ingredients, there are a number of dermatologists that review these serums. I leave that up to them, so I'm just going to give you a light rundown. It's got beta-glucan, which is used in the medical field to accelerate barrier repair. And I have noticed that it does do this. And I will tell you this, within basically 1 night, I could tell the difference. I felt it when it went onto my skin, but in the morning, I could tell looking in the mirror closely because I've had a heck of a lot of stress the past 20 years. And not only with all the medical treatments I've endured and all the illness, it's all played havoc on my skin. And I did notice a change for the positive. So I definitely believe it's worth the investment. The hyaluronic acid in this plumps and hydrates the skin, and the licorice root is an antioxidant, which gives a calming and soothing effect. Now, a lot of people will do serum twice a day, and in my experience, even as a 60-plus woman, I don't think you need to have it on your face twice a day, unless you're really flush financially. I believe that there is such a thing as too much of a good thing to just be too much. And when women do get into upper scale cosmetics, a lot of times they get excited and they have a tendency to overdo it. And I really feel that isn't necessary. I do take a more minimalist approach. I don't believe in over consumption. I don't believe in buying things we don't need. And I believe if it's really special and it's going to help you, budget for it. And that's another thing I want to tell you about. Get into the rewards program. If you like Lancôme, they offer discounts throughout the year. And when I bought these products, I did so in bulk. And they were not anywhere near what I would have paid. In fact, I got this full size free in the gift in the train case that I purchased. But for the serum for 1.7 fluid ounces, it will set you back to $89. But if you are in the rewards program and you get a discount, you won't be paying any more than what you would pay for a top-of-the-line drugstore serum. And plus you're getting free samples, and you may even be getting a free gift or a gift with purchase, which is going to give you more of a skincare or makeup stash. So I found it to be a very worthwhile investment to buy in bulk and to be on the rewards program. Okay, so then the next item that I tried was the Rennergieur. Now this is a sample size eye cream, and I had a whole bunch of these. And I used it faithfully. And this is something that I did use twice a day because I have a real issue with dark circles under my eyes. And if you've been following me for years now, you've seen me on videos where I do look like I've been hit with a Mack truck simply because of the stress I've been under and the illness, because a lot of my videos I taped when I was really sick and actually dying because I wasn't getting the medical care I needed. So on top of that, having a hereditary issue with dark circles, I've noticed this does work. It works with the fine lines and lightening those up. Would I purchase it again? Absolutely, I would. And that is for 0.5, not a whole 5, but 0.5 ounces, going to cost you $85. But once again, with your discount, you can save quite a bit of money. Now, the Rennergie HPN 300 Peptide Cream, I absolutely love this. This is a firming cream. And so after you've done your first 2 steps and you put this on, you can definitely feel a true lifting in your skin. And I love it. The only issue that I had with it is that I found that it was not moisturizing enough for my skin type. And I definitely would not suggest using this at night. I would go with a really potent night cream as well. So, in a nutshell, this is my review of Lancôme skincare products. Keep in mind that there are many products in Lancôme. Products for youthful skin that has a lot of natural oil, products for more mature skin, and then the standard product for normal skin. Now, one thing I want to tell you about Lancôme and Estee Lauder both. These products at one time were not so high that anybody could basically afford to purchase them. When I was in my youth, in my early 20s, more women that I personally knew that were in college, that were just starting out in careers, even women who were working minimum wage jobs, actually could afford this line of cosmetics because it was reasonably priced. The products were not anywhere near what they are now. And even in the late 80s with Estee Lauder, nobody paid hundreds of dollars for a serum. I remember getting night repair for $50 when I first went into that. So what I work with here on my channel is I help you all the way around, and I give a fair and balanced opinion. So what I have seen in the changes over the years are that cosmetic companies, because you can purchase stock in them, and everything basically that we consume is out on the stock market that people can buy shares in. This has really changed things as far as availability to the mainstream public. And it's made it difficult because when you have corporate executives involved and people living very high lifestyles involved, that hikes the price up of everything. Now, to be the devil's advocate here, good products are worth paying more for. Is it worth it to be so exorbitant that you're going to have to do without food or clothing or something else? Absolutely not. I would never advise anyone to not pay a bill to get makeup or skincare or to not eat properly. We have to have a balance. And so if you can afford it on your budget, if you can find a way to do it, and you are frugal in your approach to it, and you don't overuse, which is just a waste of time and money and product anyway, then you're going to be able to do it, and it's a great thing. We have to consider how these products are sourced, and the effort, the energy that is put into them. Because quality ingredients, just like quality food that you would buy at a ranch market to put in your body, that is a whole food that has been grown in the earth, makes such a difference as opposed to something out of a tin can. And it's the same thing with clothing. You know, I bought a pair of boots at Big Lots when I was at my most poverty-stricken during my illness. And within 2 weeks of wearing them, the insides peeled. So when I pulled off my boots, I had all these flakes of rubber flying out of the boot and onto my carpet. And I thought, oh God, I have to come out of this, because I was always used to well-made materials and not the stuff that is mass-produced, probably even by child labor in a third world country. So in closing, I really want to talk to you about poverty consciousness and what it has done in the United States of America. It has, for one thing, caused women to have, and men to have, a warped view of high quality merchandise and continually be on the defensive that it's not worth it, and those who source it are not worth being paid their time and energy to run these companies. And we have to look at how the poverty consciousness plays with our mind and keeps us in a state of deprivation and anger and resentment, and also the feeling that we are not worthy to have quality products in our lives. And for those of you who may be watching, because I know you do, even though I'm a very small channel, who are executives who are pricing these items, it has to be user-friendly. It has to be friendly to the consumer and within reach of the consumer, or you will lose customers. You know, that's the bottom line. And we all know that all of the major luxury brands right now have really taken a nosedive because women simply are not going to let their kids go without food or electricity in their home to buy a bottle of serum or cream. So there has to be a balance for products to stay on the market. And personally, as a consumer, I don't go buy luxury items. I never considered, when I was on Lancôme before, for it to be a luxury item. I felt it was a medicinal need. And so I think that if you in the industry look at the needs of your consumer and you come back down to earth, that not all of us are in flush living environments. Not all of us can even afford to drive, especially if we are coast to coast in the United States. The cost of living is high. So you have to work within reason for the consumer. And on that note, I'm going to wrap it. I have rattled off on my soapbox long enough, but I wish you all many blessings in life. And as we are at the beginning of 2026 at the taping of this video, I wish you a wonderful new year ahead with many positive changes. Bye for now.